chosen to die.
Okay, so any minute now. So I'm on the phone.
What?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, any minute now, that'd be great.
Well,
thank you. Thank you. Love you too. Bye.
Sorry
about that. That was DHL on the phone, and they're delivering a parcel for us today.
Yeah, but we're supposed to be reviewing board games.
Well, it is a board game. Welcome to
Rollin, by the way. But I do not physically have a board game in my hands. There's nothing here.
Well, look at that.
It looks like here we've got a copy of Cypress Legacy.
Cypress Legacy? Is that how you? Is it not Cypress?
No, it's definitely Cypress.
Cypress Legacy. So is it about the legacy of the financial crisis that went on in Cyprus?
No. It is a game for 2 to 6 players. It is around about an hour.
Okay.
It is a game where you are basically helping a friend, and she, for no apparent reason, cannot go and find her inheritance. So you're going in the mansion to find her inheritance for her, and you're battling other players to get out before. Okay.
Is there anything else we have to worry about in this mansion? Is it just full of like old maids and things?
No, there are some amazing knights that come around and just give you a really gentle, warm cuddle.
Okay then. It's worth saying that we were sent this to review.
Yes.
This is a prototype copy. So some of the pieces aren't exactly what you would get if you bought this. I think it was through Kickstarter. So should we get to the table and see what we think?
Let's give it a go.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Boom!
So we played a game of Cypress Legacy.
Cypress Legacy.
And in Cypress Legacy, it was it was good.
It was a really good game. So Will is back for the YouTube void if you may or may not have missed it. And so we had a 3-player game with Will, who spent most of the game winning.
Yes, until he didn't.
Yes, until I won, and I spent most of the game losing.
But you guys don't really care about who won or who lost. I mean, we do, but you guys don't really care.
No, but it's important.
To know that you came back from the brink, right?
Yes.
Yes. In other games I've played of this game, we have had players who have been doing very poorly at doing this game, but then come back and won in the end.
And I think that's important to recognise in this game, because some of the mechanics I will call old school.
I think the word you should use for the mechanics in this game are dated. So this is a game where you have to roll a dice to move. Now that might not seem very strange or very unusual for a board game, but a lot of more kind of modern day board games, it's kind of frowned upon in board gaming communities to roll to move. However, it was really fun.
It added to the game.
Yeah, and it's actually incorporated in the game as well, isn't it? Because when you fight the enemies, what happens when you beat them? Rather than me just explaining everything.
Well, when you roll and you beat them, any movement, any points that you used or had left over added to your movement score.
So yeah.
So if you had an opponent and his damage was 4, and you rolled a 6, and you had your +2 modifier, that would give you 4 additional movement points to move along. And that was good.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that.
Okay, so tell me what you didn't like about the game, Jamie.
I didn't like the die rolling.
Ironically.
Ironically. there were various points in the game where I was rolling and I wasn't able to move. I was only moving one. I found that really frustrating. As a player, I felt like I had 3 or 4 goes where I couldn't move, I couldn't do anything. I felt removed from the game. But weirdly, when the dice were going in my direction, I felt really absorbed and quite excited, and the adrenaline was going. It's similar to Fallout in that you are sort of bound by your dice roll, and if you have an evening where you're rolling nothing but 1s and 2s, that's going to be a very miserable evening for you. But if you have an evening where you're rolling high, then it's going to be a fantastic evening for you. This game does contain an element of luck, and I think because of that, it isn't a game that you're going to go to all of the time. But because of all the other games that we've played, a real positive is it felt really refreshing to play something along those lines.
I agree with you. It feels really different, which is strange because when you get to this table and you tell people who play board games on a regular basis, oh, you're rolling to move, and you know the board looks like the Cluedo Mansion, for instance. There's a lot of it. Initially, it seemed a bit like, but what I really enjoy about this game is it's a gotcha game, and normally I don't really like them, you know, a terrible amount. However, in this one, even when you're doing poorly, other people are also doing poorly, and you are laughing at what is happening to those people. But in a nice way, though. It's not like we were kind of picking on somebody. Like, Will had some poor rolls, and Jamie and I look at each other and laugh. But then I had some bad things, and Jamie was laughing at that, and Will was just laughing at everything. Because I don't think Will really understood where he was.
No. And I think that's the thing. I think it's a really good game, and if you've got a role-play group that suffers massively from analysis paralysis,
or a board game
group, or whatever, this is a great game to play because actually there is very little sort of studying of cards. You know, it's a quick, fast-paced game. We'll get going round and round and round. You weren't waiting around for turns, and I really liked it, but I wouldn't play it all the time.
Yeah, but then again, when you've got like 20 odd board games in your collection, right? You're not going to play them every week, but it's one to get out now and again. And I've played it up to 4 players. I've not played with 6, so I'd be interested to see how it played with 6 players. But I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yes, I've got one more negative, and it's a minor negative, but it's a negative. What I don't like about it is the board. Like, I like the board, but I just felt that if those were tiles that you could randomly place
like a modular
out,
kind of thing,
more modular, I think that would again make it different after you played it a few times. I felt the fact that it was really static meant that made
they do have a thing to kind of add to the variety of this, because in this game you have to find there are room cards that are drawn out where this inheritance will be, and you have to rush to find that inheritance. And at the beginning of the game, you shuffle those inheritances and you only draw a certain amount. So next time you play the game, the inheritances will appear at different places. I just thought of one other negative, and this is just for me really. Thematically, this game makes no sense, because this lady here on the front, she inherited a mansion from somebody, and she gets her friends to go into the mansion. I would have much preferred it if we were all people who had claim to this place, or were broken into this mansion, and we're all trying to get things for our own kind of like our own nefarious needs. In this, you're supposed to get all these things and then get out and give them back to her.
And for me, I think that stops you from being fully absorbed into the game.
Yeah.
It makes sense. But then I think it adds to the humour value, because if you're not trying to take this game very seriously,
and you shouldn't take this game seriously, then
it's a fantastic game. And I apologise to the publisher if they made it to be a serious game, but actually what they have made is a very fun game to play when you just want to play a board game that you don't want to spend hours and hours
going to the rule book, or
I just
looking
want
at
to roll
stats
die.
and things.
Yeah,
it's a fairly good game for an evening with friends.
It's a surprisingly good game for an evening with friends.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You'll notice here that I've given the box to Jamie, because holding it for so long really hurts your arms. I have no upper body strength, so...
Did you know that Will's been working out with this box in between
Has he?
plates? Like doing push-ups, sit-ups. Yeah, weird.
Okay.
He's a weird guy. So anyway, it's that particular point in this video where we get to cast our scores. And for those of you who have seen our videos, what you do or may not have realised is that we do not do traditional scoring and doing it 1 out of 10, because we believe that we should rate each board game on its own merits. And we do that by using the die or the cards that have been provided to us in the game.
Not all the time, but
Most of the time. In this case, we've been provided with a D6, so we find it only fitting to score it in such a way. So I'm going to go with a solid 4 out of 6. The reason 4 out of 6 for me, overall I've enjoyed the game. I felt the mechanics, I really liked the old school nature of it, die rolling. There were a few bits that I felt that could have been slightly improved, but overall it was a good game. And I wasn't expecting much after looking at it, but actually the nice thing was I came away pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, so I would go 4.5 on this because of that surprise element. Because every time I get this game to the table, I'm thinking the people around the table aren't going to be really that enthused about it, but actually everyone comes away having a really good time. And yeah, it's a good game, I think, and I think 4.5 out of 5, 6, because there's 6 on the dice. Yeah. That's what I give this game.
Well done on maths.
Yeah.
So we are
Die Rolling.
Make sure you catch us on
YouTube,
Instagram,
Facebook,
and if you want those notifications,
ring the bell and subscribe.